Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, and thanks so much for tuning in today. I'm Aja Goare. Our top story this half hour, the U.S. Department of Defense is investigating how the Texas church shooter was able to buy guns despite being ousted from the Air Force for domestic violence. CBS's Courtney Zubowski has the latest.
Devin Kelly would not have been able to legally purchase the assault rifle he used to kill 26 people if the Air Force had properly reported his 2012 domestic violence court-martial. Documents show he pleaded guilty to striking, choking, kicking, and pulling the hair of his then-wife on 2 separate occasions. He also pleaded guilty to striking his young stepson on the head and body with a force likely to produce death or grievous bodily harm.
What he was convicted of should have stopped him from getting a gun.
Investigators are still looking into the shooter's motive for opening fire inside the church. They're focusing on threatening messages he sent to his mother-in-law, who is a parishioner, but was not at church on Sunday. People in this close-knit community are stopping by this makeshift memorial to pray. Many believe that this tragedy would have been even worse if a neighbor didn't take action. Stephen Williford, who is being hailed a hero, ran out of his house barefoot, shot at the gunman, and forced him to flee.
I'm no hero. I am not. I think my God, my Lord, protected me and gave me the skills to do what needed to be done. And I just wish I could have gotten there faster.
The names of nearly all the victims are now known. They include a pregnant woman and her unborn child, and a family who lost 9 members. Several victims are still in critical condition, fighting for their lives. Courtney Zubowski for CBS News, Sutherland Springs, Texas.
And a new report shows the Columbine school shooting is no longer among the deadliest mass shootings in America. Here in Montana, the Crow Agency man who engaged Billings police in a 9-hour-long standoff at Big Bear Sports Center did not take his own life. That confirmation revealed in the autopsy report completed Monday for 30-year-old Frank Joey Half Jr. He was fatally shot by 8 officers as he fired at them on Saturday. Police say Half crashed his vehicle into the front entrance of the store around 2 a.m. Nearly 60 officers responded to the scene. Half then barricaded himself in the store and engaged officers in multiple shootouts throughout the morning. Sometime before 1 p.m., Half was fatally shot. It's unknown whether Half was under the influence of any substances, and there's still no word on a motive for the incident. The 8 officers who fired shots remain on administrative leave. We now know the name of the woman fatally shot near Vaughn last week. The Cascade County Sheriff's Office reports 42-year-old Sandy Dennis of Vaughn died Wednesday. Authorities received a report of a shooting at a home on 4 Mile Creek Road. When officers arrived, they found Dennis dead. A weapon was recovered from the home. The investigation is ongoing, but at this time, authorities say no charges are expected. The circumstances of the shooting do remain unclear. Billings police are searching for 2 girls they believe are in danger after their non-custodial mother took them from foster care. 15-year-old Susanna Gibson is white with blue eyes and brown hair. She is 5 feet tall, with 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighs 120 pounds, and has a pierced lip. 13-year-old Candace Spencer is white with green eyes and brown hair. She is 5 feet 3 inches tall and weighs 105 pounds. Their non-custodial mother is a 35-year-old woman named Tiana Pantalion. She is white, 5 feet 4 inches tall, 150 pounds, with blue eyes and brown hair. The suspect vehicle is a black 2007 Pontiac G6 with Montana license plates. Authorities say the vehicle may be headed to California. Anyone with information should contact police. The Montana Highway Patrol is investigating a fatal crash in Prairie County. It happened around 4:30 this morning just north of Terry. According to the MHP incident report, a trooper did not arrive on scene for over an hour after the crash. No further information has been released. The fire that burned down one of the last lumber mills in Montana leaves 18 people without a job. Investigators are still uncertain of why the SK Finger Joint Mill in Libby burned to the ground. The fire broke out Sunday, burning for 10 hours and destroying 2 buildings. A firefighter suffered minor injuries. That mill was originally started by Champion International back in 1984. The head of Puerto Rico's power utility won't answer questions in Washington today after all. Ricardo Ramos, the executive director of Puerto Rico's Electric Power Authority, canceled his plans to appear before the House Congressional Committee regarding the island's power restoration efforts. One of the biggest questions is how a $300 million contract was awarded to a small Montana company located in the same hometown as U.S. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke. Ramos says he canceled his appearance because he cannot be away during such a, quote, critical stage in restoring electricity to Puerto Rico. Montana lawmakers will head back to Helena next week for a special session to address Montana's budget gap. Governor Bullock made the announcement Monday afternoon. He said hearings begin Monday, with the special session officially starting Tuesday. Lawmakers must solve a $227 million budget deficit caused by high firefighting costs and lower than expected tax revenues. Bullock could have ordered 10% cuts in state agency funding to close that gap, but he said those cuts would have hurt people who rely on state services. Instead, Bullock is proposing $76 million in cuts. The remaining 2/3 would be paid for by legislative changes like temporary tax increases on rental cars, hotels, and campgrounds. Republican leaders were quick to criticize the call for a special session, saying it's an expensive decision that could have been avoided if Bullock reduced non-essential state funding. Still ahead on the noon news, the former leader of the Democratic Party makes some controversial allegations in her tell-all book. Details when we come back. But first, Ed has our weather forecast. Stay with us.
You're watching